I've heard of some bad ideas in my time. The Tide Pod Challenge, Dumb and Dumber 2, Stalinism, New Coke. And now we may have something new to add to this list of terrible ideas, and that is the cold-blooded murder of HBO Max. Maybe. Which, it's still not as bad as New Coke, probably, but you should still know what's going on with this possible announcement coming later this afternoon in Warner Bros. Discovery's announcement of their Q2 earnings. And we'll get into all this. So, let's dive in. Thanks for joining me today, everybody. Now, the headline here is that in the Warner Brothers and Discovery merger, we may be getting the worst possible outcome, which is that HBO Max would fold into Discovery Plus and not the other way around. There have been a few indicators of what might be coming down the pike. First, HBO Max started dropping some of their own titles from their streaming service. There were several HBO Max original movies that disappeared from the service over the last little while. Now, why would they do this? It's not licensed content. They're not paying anything for it, right? But it's actually kind of just an accounting quirk. With a streaming movie like that, if it's not performing and you pull it from your service, you're no longer distributing it, you can actually do a partial tax write-off over a few years. So yeah, it does save them a little bit of money. Still, from a consumer perspective, feels weird. Then we got the news that Batgirl had been canceled. This is a movie that they had already spent $90 million on, and they just pulled the plug. The movie was done except for a few effects shots that they still had left to do, and it seemed like possibly a pretty good time. Michael Keaton coming back as Batman? Come on. Anyway, now we'll never see it. But the biggest bombshell this week is that the development staff at HBO Max may be cut by as much as 70%. Now, why would they do this? They would do this if HBO Max were being folded back into HBO, and that would create some redundancies in staff positions. And why would they do that? Again, the rumor at least is that HBO will fold into Discovery Plus. So Discovery Plus, which has all these channel hubs for all of their different properties, would then have an HBO hub, which would be hilarious if it weren't so tragic to see HBO next to the FYI channel or whatever. So if this is all true, if this is happening, why is it happening? Well, the CEO, David Zaslav, he's from Discovery, has been tasked with finding $3 billion in cost savings with this merger. Not an easy task, I get it. So you find whatever you can to save a little bit of money. But possibly more importantly is the fact that this merger is really more like a takeover. Discovery is taking over Warner Brothers Media, whatever it's called. And at the last count, at the time of the merger, HBO and HBO Max were combined for 77 million subscribers, while Discovery Plus was at 24 million subscribers. I think that's the number. And frankly, I could see the folks at Discovery happily standing on the shoulders of the rotting corpse of HBO Max to get their baby to climb up that streaming ladder and join the ranks of the big guys. Now, if you've watched this channel for a while, you know that I do try to give the benefit of the doubt to companies and CEOs who are in situations like this. It's tough. They gotta navigate some choppy waters. So yeah, in a way, I guess I kinda get it. But in this case, from a purely consumer perspective, this is madness. HBO Max is, pound for pound, probably the best streaming service out there. And it could just evaporate like that. I would be shocked, I would be infuriated, and I'm sure I'm not alone. Now, obviously, there are a ton of questions, whether or not these rumors are true. We still need to know exactly what the merger will look like, what the new streaming service, if there is one, will look like, what the price will be. That'll be obviously important. So we'll see what happens with all of that in today's announcement. And I'll be going over that in tomorrow's live stream. So if you're not yet, go ahead and subscribe, hit the bell icon, because I'll be back at 2 p.m. Eastern for a live stream tomorrow, and we'll talk about what happened in today's Warner Bros. Discovery announcement. So again, 2 p.m. Eastern, be there. I'll be there with all of my fingers crossed, hoping that this really just turns out to be a rumor, because yikes.